Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to UltimateE's All-Star Virtual League and the Super Sunday we have ahead of us. We've got two exciting races starting off with the All-Star Virtual League followed by the Indo-Ceylon 3.0 GP. I'm joined along Aditya Patel as always to take us through this All-Star Virtual League that we're doing like we did yesterday from Lime Rock Park to Daytona Speedway we are. Aditya, welcome on board.
Thank you, Anjan. Thank you as always for the warm welcome. And yes, like you said, from Lime Rock Park now to Daytona Speedway, we've gone from a tight little circuit to a fast-flowing circuit. So it's going to bring us some different racing, different to what we saw yesterday. I think yesterday a lot of guys had trouble making clean overtaking moves, but Daytona is obviously going to give them that space to do it. And we have an interesting addition into our pack today. Arman is joining us on the grid, and he's joining Sohil in the Ferrari, and we've got Advait and Lee who've paired up, but the rest of the team stay the same as yesterday. Maybe maybe Anjan, you can run everybody through the team lineup.
Hey, quickly I shall, as we always do. Just if you're joining us, this is what we're up to today. We're in the UltimateE All-Star Virtual League. This is race number 2 of the first weekend. This is going to run across 3 weekends, so 6 races. So 4 more to go after this over the next 2 weekends as well. We were at Lime Rock Park yesterday, we're at Daytona today, and we have some super exciting racing ahead of us as well. We've got teams of 2 where drivers will switch in between, so you'll see 15 cars on track, and then they will have a pick window between the 23rd and the 28th minute. The pick window will open, the drivers will come in, and they will swap. And that is the brilliant beauty of this, because that strategy is huge and will pay dividends at the end of the race, like we saw yesterday. So it's mandatory for one driver to qualify yesterday. So the guys who started yesterday, who qualified first yesterday, will be driving second today, and the guys who started second yesterday will be qualifying first and starting the race. So people like Maini, who started yesterday, will have his teammate Dushyant in place instead. Sai Sanjay started yesterday, will have his brother Sai Saran in place. Avinash Gupta will have Amit Kuti instead is starting off today. So we're going to have bits and pieces of these guys now will come through and start today. So again, as always, we're in the GT3 cars. We're going to have safety cars. Will is on. So if there's a crash or there's 4 or more people get involved in a pileup like we saw yesterday, the safety car will be deployed and will bunch the field up. And it only gives us super exciting racing ahead. Damage, of course, is off, and ABS traction control gears are on, or the automatic gears are on, of course. So, yeah, with the teams now, we've got some great racing, of course. We're in qualifying for 10 minutes here, which is going to follow by a 50-minute race in that pick window in between. And we saw some super racing yesterday all the way up and down the field. And the teams, as always, with the Audi, in the Audis, Arjun Maini and Dushyant, super strong team. We saw what they did yesterday. Firstly, Sai Sanjay and Sai Saran, the brothers, well, they were quick yesterday, but today as well, it looks like in practice they were super quick as well. But in the Mercedes again, Amit Kuti and Avinash Gupta, the Ferrari, Sohil Shah, Arman Ibrahim, our Althia's partner, the co-founder of UltimateE as well. So he's going to have a crack at today. It's going to be brilliant to watch him go out this track. Yeah,
it's going to be great to watch these guys. Yeah.
Oh, sure. That combination always cracks me up every single time we watch them. And you know, they've always got something up their sleeve where they sneak in the podium at all times when they participate together. So it's going to be great to watch if they can actually pull it off today. Then we've got the Abdul brothers, or the Abdul cousins yesterday, who won yesterday in the Ferrari and Lime Rock. So it was brilliant watching those 2 guys pull the strategy up and actually take it to the quicker guys ahead. They were super quick yesterday. So we'll see what they're up to today. We're on Shankar Ankit in the Ferrari, Shahan Ali and Harry Delton in the Mercedes. Tejashwi Shetty, Ocean Kurada, the Ferrari, Ronnie and Sebastian Burnett. This is the all-German team in the Audi RH. Then we have Ayan Sharma, Chetan Surneni in the Mercedes, Vishnu Prasad and Najib in the Audis, Ritesh Rai and Vishwas in the Audis. Mercedes AMG, we have Chetan Kurada and Vikash Anand. Advait Deodar and Lee Keshav team up because Mahavir Raghunathan today is not racing with us. He had a failed pedal yesterday, does not seem to have got it fixed. So Advait teams up with Lee Keshav with the Mercedes, and Varun Shah and Gaurav Matthew in the Mercedes AMG. So these are our top, and with 4 minutes left in the qualifying, once again, no surprise, look who's on top again.
Yep, it's Amit Kuti on top, and we kind of expected that. We knew he'd be up there today, but of course we know guys like Shahan, Abdul Hadi are also going to be up there. But like you mentioned, you know, the brothers Sai and Sai, Abdul Hadi and Abdul Fatah. In fact, we thought they were cousins. Actually, they're brothers. In fact, their dad messaged me last night after the races and said, "Oh, by the way, just want to correct you. They're both my sons, so they're not
brothers. The same mother and short. So yeah.
And we've got, so that means on the podium yesterday we had two pairs of brothers, which is great to watch. You don't really see
Nice.
a Sai and a Sai and an Abdul on the podium in many
Yeah.
places, really.
Yeah. I think it was a surprise yesterday because those were not the usual suspects and the usual guys that we thought would be on top of the podium, and it changed so much in that pit stop. But the way they drove, let's not take anything away from that. Their race pace, the Abdul brothers out there was phenomenal yesterday.
It was fantastic, and they played it out so well. If you remember, Abdul Fatah in the first stint kept his car in third place, made no mistakes, didn't do anything that would jeopardize his race at all. He fought it clean with Sai and Arjun. He watched them battle when he needed to, and then when he handed it over to his brother, they had their job cut out. Abdul Hadi came out of the pit in front, and he knew he had that gap from Ronnie. Although the safety car, if you remember, came out closer to the end of the race, and then once again just at the finish. Must have really given him a few palpitations there, I'm sure, because Ronnie is not an easy driver to keep behind. And Ronnie and Sebastian, again, a very strong team. So it is going to be great to see, who's going to come out on top today. Is it going to be the Abdul brothers? Is it going to be Ronnie Sebastian? Or is there going to be someone else who can surprise us? Sohail and Arman, maybe. Let's see, because it's the teams up to down, well matched. Of course, there are some teams we noticed yesterday that are adapting better to the GT3 cars than the others. But at the end of the day, it's all down to how well these guys work together with each other. We've got 2 minutes left in qualifying, and we're seeing that Vishnu Prasad, Gaurav Matthew, Tejasvi haven't set times yet. So we just have to see how this pans out. But up on top, we've got Amit, Shahan, and Ronnie. Amit and Shahan, two really, really young kids, both 115, 116 years old. And then you've got Ronnie, who's 37 years old. So you've got an interesting mix up there on top.
Absolutely, because these guys, I mean, when you look at these guys, Shahan Motion Ali now and Nawad Kuti, like you said, young guys coming up the field, taking it guys like Ronnie and people like that, which is brilliant to watch because the gap between them right now, about 2 minutes of qualifying to go, is absolutely nothing, and both the Mercs on top, and Ronnie 2 tenths behind, but behind him, I think all the way down to 8th place now. There's only a second that covered these guys in qualifying. So there is still a lot to play for because we saw like there's like Sohail Shah yesterday who came out and actually clinched himself a podium and whatnot. So I pretty much the back of the grid. He was just staying out of trouble and keeping his hands clean and actually did really, really well by the end of it. Then you also have people like Ankit Roy who was up there for a long, long time. Dushyant unfortunately yesterday had some massive problems during the race because Arjun Maini was in the lead and then they finished 7th or 8th by the end of it overall. So there is a lot to play for, especially when the next guys come out, because you are going to have the fast guys, albeit Amit Kuti is doing the first stint this time around out there.
Yep, Amit Kuti is doing the first stint, and Amit and Shahan, as you can see, they're so close. They are doing the first stint, so it's going to make it interesting when they hand it over to their teammates who are tier 2 drivers. So they are going to have to fend off some faster guys who will be coming from behind. Guys like Ronnie, guys like Abdul Fatah, Arjun Maini obviously is also going to be charging from further back. So it's going to make the second stint very, very interesting. And then again, the safety car, you never know when it's going to come out. There were so many incidents yesterday. We don't know how it's going to be today because this track is very, very different to Lime Rock Park. So are we going to see safety cars at all? Are we going to see more? Are we going to see less? Only time will tell.
Absolutely, because this track, like Aditya said, is a much longer track. It's a 5.7 kilometer track compared to the 2 kilometer circuit we ran yesterday at Lime Rock Park. So there's going to be the gaps are going to be a lot longer. And of course, that big oval banking out there, absolutely nothing in. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Qualifying now done. We have on pole position, Amit Kuti takes it a 1:45.3, but right behind him, Shahan Ali Motion, absolutely nothing. And a couple of hundreds between these two, a couple of tenths rather, hundreds rather between these two guys. Ronnie Weschelberger in third, Abdul Hadi in 4th place. Let's see what he can do from there because he came back very, very strong towards the end of the race. And Aditya Deoda was leading for a very long time yesterday until he made that pit stop towards the end of the race. And Oshan Kotadia at 6th place. Vishwas Vijayaraj in 7th, and Sai Saran with the Sai brothers now 8th place. But between Oshan Kotadia and Vishwas Vijayaraj, we've seen them. We've seen how quick they are. They've shown their pace on this track. But Aditya, we can see a lot. I'm pretty sure from Oshan, especially if he stays out of trouble, can get himself up the field.
Yeah, and Oshan, of course, has Tejasvi as a teammate who's also very quick, and he's going to be in the second stint. So they do find themselves in a good position there. Sohail, that way, we're looking at him now in 9th place, has a lot of work to do. He's going to hand it over to Arman. He's followed by Chetan. Super job by Chetan to put it in the top 10. Followed by Ankit, who's paired with Rohan. And Rohan, we know, can be super quick. Dushyant with Arjun. So you see the guys further down there, and you know that in the second stint, when they hand it over to the faster drivers, their faster teammates, they are going to be going up. And the idea behind this format is to pair some really, really good drivers with people who are relatively new to sim racing, relatively new to this game, to kind of really try and bring them up in their game. But anyway, we're heading into the race very, very shortly. I'm looking forward to this. But once again, we're looking at these really colorful cars. It's good to see these guys actually taking interest in making their cars look great, isn't it?
They do. They absolutely look phenomenal in the background of Daytona with those super cool grandstands. Of course, as always, it's going to be a rolling start where the cars lead them away, and Amit Kuti, will be leading them across the line for this rolling start. So he's going to bunch these guys up, keep together the car. The safety car will peel into the pit lane, and then they will be on racing once the green flag drops. But it is absolutely crucial to kill this when they come across the line, because you are coming around 31-degree banking before you go across that start finish straight, and then it's going to you've got to gain massive speed in between. There we go. We see the safety car now leading them around the track just a little longer, but there's a massive gap already, even before the safety cars peeled in between Amit Kuti between Amit Kuti and who? Second.
I think that's Shahan in second place. Yeah, Shahan
in second place. Sorry, yeah. Shahan looks like he's holding back a lot of the back, and he seems to be stretched out already. So Amit Kuti just pushing the pace car along, letting him know he's there. Just wants to push off at the end of this. But here we go. We are almost set to go racing. Once the safety car pulls into the pit lane, which won't be very long as we go along around the last corner, we will watch them go racing. And Aditya, I think we're in for an absolute cracker, because if we saw anything like yesterday, that 50 minutes flies by so quickly, especially with the pit stops and the driver changes, the driver swaps in this mini endurance series we've got going on. So I can't wait for them to go racing with the safety car. It's taking rather long to go around the circuit.
It is a long circuit compared to yesterday.
Yeah, compared to yesterday.
There we go. And this is where they've got to go around most of the circuit. These guys are going to try and get some heat in their tires, and now they're on the banking. Then they go through one more chicane, get back on the banking, and that's when the safety car is going to enter the pit. But now you're going to see Amit get everybody together. You'll see Shahan coming alongside. Of course, they've got another corner to go through. I think it was sensible what they did to go in a single file, because then there's less incidents. We've seen incidents before when these guys are driving 2x2, so it was sensible to see them do what they did. But they've still got one more chicane to go through, and then they're on the final straight before the race is off.
I was going to with that team name, Grazie Ragazzi. So let's see what they can do, and if you can say those words by the time they finish, by the time the checkered flag drops in about 50 minutes time. So there we go. Like Atka said, one more chicane to go. A lot longer this track than what we dealt with yesterday. It was super quick, that 50-second track these guys are doing on this almost 6 kilometer circuit, a 5.7 kilometer circuit, the exact. And of course, it is going to be it is an anti-clockwise track, and of course tires and fuel and everything will come into play, especially during that pit stop window and that pit stop strategy. And this is UltimateE's All-Star Virtual League. We're just about to go racing as they come around the final bend now. The safety car will peel up. Amit Kuti now will bunch this back up. Let's see if they can all this. Like Adya said, it was supposed to be single file, but 2x2. I wonder what's going to happen while we go around that first corner.
Oh, it's going to be interesting. The first corner is okay, but I think it's the second corner that's really going to pull up all the action. It's a tight right-hander, and that's when everyone's going to bunch up. And we've got a good 15, 16 cars on this grid, so it's a lot of GT3 cars going into that tight corner, and it will make for an interesting lap indeed. Let's hope we don't see the safety car as easily as we did yesterday, but you see Amit is really bunching them up. I know what he's trying to do here. He's trying to really slow them down and take the slingshot, because he knows Shahan can give him some trouble on the first lap.
And the slipstream being super effective on this track, and Amit Kuti now is off, ladies and gentlemen, at the front of the pack, leading them through as we're going and go across the start finish straight now with that back grandstand watching and cheering them on. Amit Kuti leading them away, but this is going to be exciting to watch. Coming in turn one with Shahan Ali losing a couple of places there already, and Amit Kuti still seems to be leading them away up in front. So this is massive to watch, because these three guys, the top four right now, with absolutely no carnage behind them yet, are still holding it together.
They are holding it together. Looks good actually. Good clean start. Good, nice and clean through the first two corners. Now this will actually help the guys in front pull that gap that they need before they hand it over to their teammates. Amit obviously really wants to try and make a gap there, but you see Ronnie is not going to make it easy for him at all. Ronnie is really charging.
With Ronnie charging through the field, it looks, I mean, right here, Ronnie Hayes trying to charge the field. He's already up in the second place right now, but he's stealing them away. Chanley motion looks like he's lost out a few places. So has Abdul Hadi. So I wonder what happened to Abdul Hadi. But Adnan Yoda made a bunch of places, now up in the third place. With Oshan Kutadia, of course, we said don't count him out because he was a super quick. He is a super quick driver, and we can't count out Oshan Kutadia because he's made a whole bunch of places up as well. Vishwas Jayaraj, Sai Saran seems to have dropped back a bit. Soul Shah as well made up a bunch of places, starting 11th on the grid. But Amit Kuti now out in front with Ronnie Weschelberger in that all-German team of Ronnie and Sebastian. It's the Audi now versus the Mercedes, and this is brilliant to watch because these two guys, I have not seen them back in a while because Amit Kuti now is having an absolute charge behind him. Everyone from thing, but I think the full course yellow has dropped as the safety car come out because it looks like the yellow flag.
It looks like they may have.
Yeah, I think the safety car is. I think the safety car is going to come out, so there must have been some carnage behind us. It is crazy at the moment, Anandya. I wonder what happened behind.
Not sure. I seem to have missed what happened. I don't know what happened. Not sure why the safety car came up.
Because it's I mean, when we used to kind of seeing this before. We're definitely used to seeing this. And yesterday's race because it definitely wasn't the easiest for them to do with the safety car coming out, the car bunching up, especially when people like Arjun Maini had that 2-3 gap and trying to build it. And this is gonna, like after we were talking about yesterday, it's gonna affect that pit stop strategy that these guys have. Because they want to they want to pull that gap out, especially on this track where they can manage to pull gaps. So people like Amit Kuti want to have that comfortable 6-7 second lead before he hands it over to his teammate Avinash Gupta.
Yeah, and it's actually really going to trouble Amit a little bit. He's got to think more now about his strategy. And I've just got news that 4 cars collided in turn 1, which is why safety car. So we seem to have missed that. Not sure what happened there, but obviously we missed that. But what are we looking at now? Dushyant, he's had a little spin there all by himself.
Yeah, Dushyant behind the safety car. It wasn't very unusual to see yesterday because Dushyant did have. Not just Dushyant, like Rohan Shankar and whatnot was spinning off behind the safety car. So it was rather interesting watching these guys.
Yeah, it is, and it just goes to show these guys have got to be on the ball all the time. They can't even dream when they're behind the safety car. They can't take their foot off the pedal or their brain. They can't switch their mind off. They've got to just be on the ball all the time. Otherwise, you'll see things like what just happened to Dushyant. But anyway, like I said
happens
before,
to best the rest. With Roman Grosjean and Baku as well. So even the guys at Formula 1 in real life crashed behind the safety car. And heads behind the safety car here probably well. Just need, like Aditya said, need to keep that thinking hat on and focus. But what, 2 laps now, Aditya, or 1 more lap until the safety car brings them around and then they come in. But this is going to bunch the field up massively now because Amit Kuti and Ronnie were pulling away from Advait in the beginning. But now with Advait, I think he's going to be on full attack mode because we saw him yesterday, especially when he was leading the pack, he was pulling away very quickly from the sides and upholds before he pitted.
Yeah, he was, and he's. And I think I'm getting a bit of lag here in Discord, so I'm just going to join you in a second.
Yeah, I think the Discords are acting up a little bit today. I think it must be because of the rain in Chennai and the cloudy weather because we've been having quite a bit of rain all day today. But there we go. I think the yellow flag now. The safety car will lead us around one more time. The yellow flag should ideally, drop after that, and then go back in after the green flag will come out, and Amit Kuti will punch it again. I'm seeing they can lead them around and shake Ronnie Weschelberger off. Still, the start so far has shaken this back up a bit because people like you had Shah Ali who started up in second place, who's now lost quite a few places and fallen back almost to the back of the pack, and guys like Ankit Roy, Oshan Kotadia who started off further back in the pack have now come back up in front. So it's going to be exciting because these guys are quick and we've seen them race a whole bunch of times, especially guys like Vishwas Vijayaraj, Abdul Hadi. Yesterday when they were really, really quick and they had the race pace, we saw them in practice today as well, where they had some incredible race pace. So I'm just trying to figure out if it's going to be, I'm just going to figure out if this is going to be, if they're going to show that same pace today or not, because like we said, this track is a lot longer than yesterday, it's a lot trickier than yesterday. There's some long straights, tight corners, and some brilliant, brilliant banking. And of course, always Artyom gives us some super overtaking action.
Absolutely. We've seen races here before. We've seen Formula 3 races. If you remember, in the early days, we ran a Formula 3 race here, and the action was something else. And again, pretty sure we'll see the same in the GT3 car. It's obviously a long lap, so which means if they're behind the safety car, it is going to be a long while. But I do believe the safety car is going to be in at the end of this lap. We see that the safety car lights are off there. So we've got Amit in the lead, followed by Ronnie, followed by Advait and Shahan, and the top four guys are really, really quick. Ushan has made a lot of places actually to come there to up to 5th place, and seems like Abdul Hadi has dropped down a bit. He's followed by Vishwas.
Abdul Hadi has dropped.
He has, yeah. Abdul Hadi has dropped a bit, and Vishwas's teammate is Ritesh Rai. So I can imagine there are a few teammates sitting in their pits smiling right now, waiting to take over because they're really happy that the safety car is taking a while.
I think these guys, when you say they're smiling, it's not a nice smile. It's a rather opportunistic smile because they sense out in the water now. They know they can go after taking the shots they are on this racetrack. So with the safety car now, I think one more turn around the last corner, then it will peel off. But Amit Putin start watching these guys. Is that Chetan Khurana who's gone upside down? Yeah, it is Chetan Khurana who's gone upside down. And well, we've already got action before the safety car's gone back in. Two guys now have spun out.
Yeah, it looks like that. I'm not sure what. I saw Chetan Khurana not brake at all, just went straight into the wall like it's brake failure. So, not sure what that was.
I wonder, because with damage turned up, can brake failure affect this game?
No, it can't. So, I'm going to have to check with Chetan what happened there. Not sure, but that was an amusing incident. I was watching it. I just saw his car go straight into the wall, not brake at all. So we'll have to check with him what happened there. But anyway, I think the safety car is going to go in now. It's going to be interesting to see how Amit controls the pace. But we saw the last time that he slowed down a lot before the start of the race, and that lost Shahan 2 places even before he got past the line. So I'm sure Shahan's not happy with that, but it looks like Advait at least had made some ground there. And
well, with all these guys around, all these guys going around town, it is a rather long lap, so it's a slow procession with them coming around. And I just wonder, with these guys, with Amit Kutina, is going to bust them up. We're going to see the safety car now eventually pull into this pit lane. And Amit Kutina is a great angle to watch, see how close these guys are to each other, pretty much rubbing each other as they're coming along. With Amit Kutina, who's going to punch
and now he's going.
And then let him go. And here we go. Amit Kuti now leading them away for the second time on this rolling start. After we've gone through about 10 minutes of racing that we've gone through already. Amit Kuti now coming around the first corner. Now wonder with Ronnie behind him.
He's got Oshan making a place there.
Yeah, it looks like
Shahan's lost a place to Oshan.
Yeah, Shahan's lost another place to Oshan. So I want to broadcast and get our timing screens back up. It'll be great to see who's up and who's where. But then still, we're following Ronnie around right now. There we go. Thank you, Pranesh. So we've got Ronnie around right now. Advait Diota's made up a bunch of places. He's up in the 3rd place. Shahan now all the way down to 6th place. So Oshan Kutadia now, Aditya, up into 4th place, which is super for him because he started way back down. And Abdul Hadi, after yesterday's brilliance, is now in 7th place, but not too much of a gap between these guys right now. But up in front right now, Amit Kuti, Ronnie Washington, and Advait Deotar. A second between these guys.
Sohail's made a place. Sohail's up to 4th. Oshan's made a mistake, and Sohail's actually up to 4th place now. So Sohail is really flying as well. But these guys in front are really close, like you said.
Yeah, it's absolutely out there because these guys at this moment, I can only watch where like you just said, like Sohail Shah is just come up with a bunch of places as well, but. Sohail always opportunistic, waiting to see where he can bounce and where this can work in his favor.
Absolutely, and he seems to have made something work in his favor. The restart really worked in his favor, but the big losers here actually right now are Shahan and Abdul Hadi. So these guys have their work cut out for the rest of the stint before handing it over to their teammates. I think ideally they don't want to lose too much to the group in front, and don't want to let the guys behind them hassle them too much. But let's see who's behind Sohail right now. So behind Sohail, we've got Shahan, who's I think a second behind. It's all going to refresh when they cross the line now. But we're watching Advait here battling it out with Ronnie. Ronnie staying on the inside of the banking. Advait going on the outside, trying to get that slingshot as they come down. And slowly reeling Ronnie in. Advait is really, really pushing. He struggled at Lime Rock, but this circuit seems to suit him.
It does seem to suit him because even at Lime Rock,
yeah, you know, he did struggle at Lime Rock, and he was in the Audi there. But today he's with Lee Keshav. It seems like we've lost Anjan for a second here. He should be back, but today he's with Lee Keshav. There you are, Anjan. You're back.
Sorry about that. Yeah, that was my bad. I'm just having internet issues, but there we go. We're back. Sorry, I was just saying before that, Shanali Motion, people like Shanali Motion and Hadi now, 5th and 6th place, as we're settling down. We've got about, 12 minutes of racing that we've gone through today. For the Mercies and Amit Kuti now, Amit Kuti in the lead, but Ronnie and Advait Deodhar now in second and third. Look at the completely different lines that they take going through that 31-degree banking in the oval.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. Some of them prefer the line down the inside because the distance is less. Some of them prefer the banking because apparently it gives them more speed as they come down. So a lot of them do have different lines. So it's interesting to see. But Advait, you know, for him, it's more important that he follows the car in front because he'll get a good slipstream. We know that the Mercedes has the speed over the Audi. Obviously, Ronnie is running a really flat rear wing to try and get as much as he can out of that car. Because it's not easy when you're in that car to hold the Mercedes back because that car has a lot of grunt. But super job there by Ronnie holding Advait back. Sohail just not able to catch up with this group right now.
3.2 seconds behind this leading pair. The leading group, which is covered by a second. But as we're saying that, Amit now seems to start pushing away because Ronnie and Advait are starting to get involved with a little bit of a scrap here for second and third in the moment, which is going to play into Amit Kuti's hands because he's going to give this to his teammate now. Eventually, he's going to eventually give the hands over to teammate Avinash Gupta. But here we go. It's a beautiful onboard shot of Ronnie over Advait Deodhar, who's following Ronnie and Amit Kuti around. But just I was saying that, just I was saying that they've closed that gap back up again. So I don't think these guys want to let Amit Kuti out of their sights because if he does disappear, Aditya, we know how quick he can be.
Yeah, we do, absolutely. But Ronnie is definitely keeping Amit in check. He's taking those tight lines, making sure Amit keeps his eyes in the mirror. At the same time, he's also defending from Advait. You see, he's closed in a little bit. He had dropped to more than a second, but now he's under a second behind Amit. So this will put him in the slipstream, and it'll give Advait a bit of advantage because he gets the slipstream off Ronnie's car as well. So it's going to bunch these two up hopefully pretty soon. And looking at Sohail now, he seems to have reeled them in a little bit. He's got them half a second actually on this lap so far. So looks like Sohail seems to have picked his pace up right now.
I mean, it only took him 15 minutes to get to know this track, Aditya. That's all it is.
Yes, true. He was complaining. He's like, no, I can't drive this car. You know, the setup for this track, I can't find it. And then he was with Alban on Discord, and they're trying to find the right setup. But it looks like maybe he just needed to, like they say, shut up and drive.
Yeah, shut up and drive. Just like that says. It was very, very well put. But there we go, right behind it. You can see Sohail Shah now reeling them in. It was about 3.2 seconds earlier the gap. Now 2/10 he's taken off that previous lap. But he's been able to make it up in the slower corners. And these guys are following Vishwas Vijayaraj around as well. So he's down in 11th place and in a battle right now with Vishnu Prasad, who's up in 10th place. So these guys again they are both Vishnu and Vishwas, very, very experienced racers in their field, but really watching these guys at a sim track.
Yeah, I mean, great watching these guys over there, and they're battling really, really hard. Both of them actually race cars in real life, and Vishnu obviously very, very, very experienced. He's done a lot of racing over the years, multiple national champion. But Vishwas is really keeping him in check here, isn't he?
He absolutely is. And if you watch these cars go around that tight little corner, it's just so off camber. It puts your car off completely. He was trying to line up that overtake the last time around. And let's see if he can get it done this time around. Because as they blast past, this is now going to be the last of the late breakers. And with Vishwas Vijayaraj on the outside, he looks like he's going to get that move done coming around the inside now the line switches. There we go. That was some clean racing. But, oh no, I don't think he's made that place up yet.
Yeah,
he still hasn't made that place up. Sorry. Yeah, there was just a bit of lag where I think I lost a few seconds, but there we go. He still hasn't made that race back up, but he's keeping him very, very honest and up ahead now.
Oh, he's made a
And it's
mistake.
oh, he has made a mistake. He's
He
gone
has
around
made a
the outside.
mistake there.
Says thank you very much, Vishnu. I will take that place away from you. Not too much. And again, two very different lines around that banking between these two guys. But back up in front now with Amit Kuti and Ronnie. A second between these guys, a second to Advait Deoda. So it is settling down slightly. I think these guys are getting into a rhythm. And Amit just managed to keep these guys within that second gap between the Mercedes, the Audi, and the Mercedes locked in that battle. With Sol Shah now has taken another 8/10 off of them in the last couple of minutes. So he is really
absolutely flying. He is reeling them in really quickly.
Yeah, but he's gonna get. I think he's gonna lose some time because he's gonna get locked in that battle now. Oh, I think that's Abdul Hadi now. He's about 5 seconds behind. But Abdul Hadi as well has got Shan Ali Motion behind him as well, who's about 2/10 behind. So Abdul Hadi not having a very good first stint today out there.
Oh, he's having it tough, But the guys that he's in the mix with right now, very experienced race drivers as well. All of them, except Amit. Amit's a gamer, but Ronnie, experienced race driver. Advait, experienced race driver. Sohail, of course, we all know how experienced he is.
Yeah.
Shahan, young Carter, one of the best in the country, and getting into single seaters as well. So another experienced race driver. So these guys are using all their racecraft right now to make things work for them. Abdul also has done a little bit of karting, I'm sure, but you can't. There's no substitute for the experience that these guys have. So it's a super job that Abdul is doing right now before he hands it over to his brother. And Abdul Hadi now will hand it over to Abdul Fatah, who we know is very, very quick. And these guys really work well together as a brother pair.
Yep, they do, because we're not very far away right now from the pit window opening. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us at LTBD's All-Star Virtual League, the pit window will open in a couple of minutes where the drivers now racing will switch, and it will be an absolute pleasure to watch a whole new set of drivers coming through. And there we see a whole different line. I think that's given between Shan Ali Motion. It's given him the speed down that corner, down that little shot straight.
Oh, he's made a mistake,
He's made a mistake, yeah.
That's ruined his entire straight. Yeah, that means his entire straight here, where he had the chance to actually make something work, is completely lost now. He's got to try and do it all over again, and he's got not much time left before the pit window opens. But I think the pit window will open, if you're looking at the times on your screen, 26:59, which means when the clock hits 27:00, that's when the pit window will open.
So we still have a little time left. These guys, yep. 6 minutes. It's a 5-minute pit window that will be running today. So that's going to be great to watch with these guys. But Amit Kuti, if you want, right up in front, the battle. Ronnie has really reeled him in at this point now. Less than half a second between 1 and 2, which is going to give Advait Deoda now is going to be able to catch up with them. And hopefully Sol Shah, who's been eking out those stents from out of Advait, now will be able to catch up, because these two guys, Ronnie's really late. Super late into that corner with Amit. Just managed to shut the door in time, and Ronnie now is going to come back at him with 3/10 between these two. But Amit Kuti and Ronnie Westmerga, this is brilliant to watch, because you don't see battles taken to Amit up in the win, especially when he's the lead very often. And Ronnie right now definitely making him work for us there.
He's giving it everything, and he knows Amit is a quick guy, and he doesn't want to let Amit get that position that easily. Look at how these two are taking such different lines. Ronnie's just not bothered taking the slipstream, but he knows that it's the main straight that matters. They've still got the chicane to go. Ronnie knows that he needs to stay a little further behind him here before he can do the same on the main straight, and that's when he'll get that slingshot to try and make that move on Amit. But there you go. I think he's going to go around the banking the same way Amit does. No, he's dropped.
No, he doesn't. He's taken the inside. Right, Amit, he's going to get a lot more, because you do carry a lot more speed when you get around that banking onto the main straight. Compared to this inside tighter line Ronnie takes.
Yeah, I guess it's just distance versus speed. You've got to choose between the two. Ronnie's covering less distance. Amit's trying to get more speed, especially for this part of the straight. And he seems to have opened a little bit of a gap now. And he's got a good line going into this corner as well, whereas Ronnie's got that tight line, which does seem to work pretty well in the Audi though.
Well, the Audi does seem to catch up to him rather quickly in the slow corners. But with watching Ronnie try to push, is giving Advait Deoda now caught up to him quite a bit, because he's taken 6/10 out of him the last lap, 1.2 between them. But what's happened with Sol Shah? Because he's dropped down into 6th place now with Abdul Hadi, who's come up in a 4th.
Yeah, he has actually. What happened to him? He seemed to have missed what happened. He was really flying. He must have made a mistake all by himself, because there was nobody around him. So I don't see how anything could have happened unless it was just a self-inflicted mistake. That's unfortunate, because they were really, really quick there.
Yeah, because knowing Soul, he would have just been going quicker and quicker and quicker and trying to find the limit of that car. But I think with Soul, with his no practice, train quality principle, he's not going to have this easy today because it looks like he's made a little bit of a mistake, unfortunately, down in sixth place now. So Abdul Hadi now back up to fourth. So things have changed around, and I think we've got 3 minutes now for the pit window to open. So he'll give that over to Abdul Fatah. And 9 seconds is not too much of a gap, especially with the guys up ahead, still fighting super close out there. Because right now, I thought on a track this large and long, there would be a much larger gap up ahead in front. But 1 second between the top three still.
Yep, 1 second between the top three, and it's after what 20 minutes of racing, and it's still 1 second that covers, 2 seconds that covers.
Yeah, because I think Ronnie's made a tiny bit of a mistake there because it looks like he's lost a little bit more time because he was way closer to Aman Kuti last time around in this lap because he seems to have cooled off a bit. But I think the tires then will come into play now, and so once the tires come into play and the tires will start wearing, this is exactly where he's probably going to reserve and see if Aman Kuti now will have to start putting in a couple of in-laps because this is exactly when it's going to count on the in-laps, especially 1.5 minutes for pit window stop.
Yep, and we're looking at a little bit more detail. They've all got some incident points there as well for exceeding track limits and incidents with other drivers. Amit doesn't have that many, so he's in a good position right now. And we have just over a minute for the pit window to open. So I think we're going to see guys further back starting to pit and hand it over to the quicker drivers. And that's when we'll see a little bit more action with those guys trying to claw some positions back from the guys who run away in the front, who actually had that disadvantage, if you remember, with that long safety car.
Yeah, they definitely did. It was a big disadvantage at the beginning, and I'm glad in a way we haven't had a safety car come out for a while after that because it's given us some great action. Let's let us see what these guys can do over race pace over a 20-25 minute period for their individual stints. And as we see now, 1.7 seconds between the top three, so still absolutely nothing. And Ronnie, this is absolutely brilliant driving by him, keeping Amit Kuti now in absolute bay because he has not put a foot wrong yet. And kept him within that 1 second all through the race out there because when Ronnie now gives this over to Sebastian super quick, Amit Kuti has it over to Avinash Gupta. I can already predict, I think, with no disrespect, I think I know who's going to come out on top of that battle.
Yeah, absolutely. Sebastian is going to be very quick, and he's going to want to come out of that battle and make the most of the position that Ronnie has put them in. They wouldn't want to ruin anything from here. Avinash, obviously, who's Amit's teammate, still needs to get that experience. He's got Amit as a teammate. They've been working together to try and get Avinash's pace up. And that's what's great about this format, like I said earlier, because guys like Avinash, Dushyant, etc., they stand to gain from being paired with some experienced drivers like Amit and Arjun Maini and Advait Deodar, who's with Lee Keshav, Shahan, who's with Harry Dalton, Sai and Sai. So the brothers are helping each other out. So we're seeing these guys really help their teammates up their game.
And Sai looks like he's coming in the pits at the moment because it does look like Sai is going to pit. So the Sai brothers now, early, one of the first pits, the first ones to pit rather now, Aditya. So we're going to see Sai Saran now hand over the car to his brother Sai Sanjay, who yesterday was mighty quick in the first couple of stints. And of course, I think guys like Amit Kuti, Ronnie and Advait Deodar now would probably stay out for a little longer before they can hand it over to their teammates. But Ronnie now could actually throw an ace up his sleeve because he's so close out there with, and he knows that he's got a faster teammate coming on. Especially he's got a guy, he's got a teammate who's going to be faster definitely than Avinash Gupta and Lee Keshav. So I wonder if he'll throw his hat in early and pit early. I wonder if we see a change in strategies here because this is going to be a really interesting time in the race over the next 5 minutes. And Najib Ahmed now pitting, so he will hand over the car to Vishnu Prasad. Vishnu very quick on this track, so we're going to see a lot of changes now, ladies and gentlemen, in the next 5 minutes when these cars pit. And Arjun Maini now, so Dushyant has come in from 11th place, and Arjun Maini was leading all the way yesterday in his first stint with a nice big gap until he gave the car into Dushyant, and then and they finished about 7th place, but now they've switched around. So Dushyant now handing the car to Arjun Maini in 11th place. So let's see what he can do because Arjun, this is another powerhouse and talent.
He's got his work cut out for him. Arjun is really fast. He's been super quick in practice as well. They've been lapping in the 144s. Abdul Fatah has been lapping in the 144s, so he's really quick. But I think the battle that we're definitely going to see up in front is going to be between Sebastian and Abdul. if Abdul
Yeah.
can catch up, because he had dropped, Abdul Hadi had dropped back a little bit. It's going to be interesting to see what Lee can do once Advait hands the car over to him. I know Lee has been practicing quite a bit, and Lee can be quick if he puts a bit of practice into it. So it's going to be interesting to see what those front running guys can do. And of course, like you were mentioning, Arjun Maini, a real powerhouse, great driver to have in the league. You know, someone who's
Yep.
been in Formula 2, someone who's raced with us at the X1 Racing League. So it's superb to always have him here with us constantly. He also did the Le Mans 24 Hours with us. And
Yep.
if you remember, that was a great race. We're already preparing for the Spa 24.
An absolutely brilliant race with the Le Mans 24 that we had. I mean, these guys finished Arjun Mani and Co finished 11th, if I'm right, up there on that race. They qualified way up there in their class, and the LMP2 was going to finish qualified 4th. And this was a global race that we did with ultimately entering 2 teams in there. And these guys finishing really, really, really well. Super job. For the first time, we went in teams in a Le Mans 24 series race, and it was a 24-hour race. But coming back into this one, we've got now 23 minutes of racing to go. So it looks like a lot of these guys, except Amit Kuti and Amit Deodar, have made their pit stops. Abdul Hadi right now, the top 3 don't look like they've made their pit stops. So then we see Arman Ibrahim now has come out, Rohan Shankar has come out, Ritesh Rai has come out, Sai Sanjay has come out, Sebastian Granette. So this has worked out supremely well, I think, right now for the German pair of Ronnie and Sebastian. Because this is going to give them, because they have pitted early, and I think with Amit and Advait trying to stretch their stints as long as they can to see if they can eke out the most of it, because Sebastian now is going to be on the charge because he's got clear track in front of him for the next couple of laps.
Yeah, and the other thing that I'm going to find interesting and that we'd all have to see is fuel strategies, because see, Lime Rock Park, it's not a really fast circuit like Daytona, so the fuel consumption is really, really low, which meant that yesterday most of them didn't even have to refuel, but here they've actually got to refuel. And if they don't, and if they just choose to go for a short pit stop, that's actually going to land them in some trouble. So we're going to see some interesting strategies. Let's just hope they refuel a little bit, because it may be cutting it a bit too fine at the end of you may see someone just coasting around this banking, like we saw Mohammed last time, and when we had the V8 supercars, poor guy just didn't cross the line after leading that race for so long.
That was just so tragic, and I still can't stop thinking about it, because he was driving such a brilliant race on the last lap, the last corner. He runs out of fuel, and boom, bang goes dynamite, and he finished 9th in that race. But now we're going to come back out, so it looks like everyone has pitted now, Aditya, because Avinash Gupta now has come out. Amit Puri's handed over that car, and he's come out 4 seconds now ahead of Lee Keshav. And Sebastian now 1.8 seconds behind Lee. So this has worked out really, really well for the German boys at this point in time, because they've got 20 minutes to attack and see if they can take the win today, because it is definitely a possibility for them to do. And I think Sai Sanjay now in 5th place. So we have Abdul Fattah now in 4th place. So Abdul Fattah is going to lay in some hard laps, because
he is flying. But you just mentioned that Sebastian is behind Lee.
Yeah.
How did that happen? Because he must have lost some time somewhere, or maybe their pit stop was just a little longer. I don't know, because if you remember, Advait was behind Ronnie. So for Sebastian to be now behind Lee has just spiced things up a little bit, and they've got Abdul Fattah who's flying behind them, trying to reel them in.
Yeah, and that's exactly what this is exactly why it's so interesting, because Arjun Maini, when he was handed the car, Dushan handed him in 11th place. He's already now up into 8th place, so making his way up to the field. Rohan Shankar now in 6th place. Sai Sanjay and Rohan Shankar locked in an absolute intense battle at this moment. Absolutely nothing in it between the both of them. So these guys now, they're going to come out and give us some really, really, really stonker. They're going to put in some stonkers of laps, because what they're going to be doing at this point in time, I think, is just settling down, feeling that car, feeling the rhythm, and then push towards the end, because they've got 20 minutes of racing to go, ladies and gentlemen, and we are in for an absolute cracker over the next 20.
Yep, we are always in for an absolute cracker, especially when it's coming towards the end. I just got a little complaint from a driver saying that Arman made contact with him, so Arman's going to have a word. But there are some drivers who are now coming in with their complaints with regard to contact that's happened during the so far.
I have to give it to Arman at some point. You've got to feel sorry for the man, because he's like, while he's your co-founder, he's also your reserve spare driver, wild card, whatever you want to call it. Wherever you go racing, and you need a seat to be filled up, you call Arman a couple of hours before and say, okay, we've got to go racing, and boom, He's got to get himself in the
He's
car.
always ready. He's
Understand
ever
it?
ready.
He's always
I've
ready.
just got I've just got word, however, that just while we're watching, it looks like Lee is now leading the race, but we've just got word that Ronnie has a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Uh,
Yeah.
it seems like he may have entered the pit too fast. I'm not sure what happened there, but he seems to have a penalty. He's just telling us that he does. But now we've got Avinash who's dropped back. Not sure what happened to him, which means
He's
Lee
not
is leading
bad.
the race.
So,
Sebastian is not really catching him. And who's that behind Sebastian in the green
Is
car? He's really pushing hard.
is that Abdul? That's Abdul Fattah who's catching him, I think, right now. Oh, is that? Yeah, that
Abdul
looks like
Fattah is in the Ferrari here.
Oh, he's in
That's
the
actually a
Ferrari.
car
So
that's probably a
I think
lap
it's a lap.
behind.
It's a lap car. Yeah, that's a lap car for sure. That we're looking
But
at. But I think now, as
he's
things settle
flying.
down, he is. Aditya, he absolutely is flying at the moment because we've got Lee Keshav now in the lead. Sebastian Granette, 1.2 seconds behind. Abdul Fattah was 5 seconds a couple of laps ago, and now about 2 laps ago, now he's taken 1.2 seconds off. So he's up in the third place. Avinash Gupta looks like he's made a mistake and dropped down because after Amit Kutti's incredible sit where he kept these guys at bay. Did not. Unfortunately, he's dropped down to fourth place. And then Sai Sanjay now up in the fifth place. He's got a little bit of work to do, but Sai Sanjay, Rohan Shankar, still nothing in it between these two. Keep still being absolutely inseparable. 8 tenths between the two of them. Arjun Maini now reeling these guys in up in the seventh place. So Arjun Maini has been brilliant because 8
It looks
seconds
like
now
we may
between
have
him
a
and Rohan
safety car
Shankar.
right now. Actually, it seems like there's been an incident. There's a car stranded on track somewhere. It looks like we probably will have the safety car soon. I'm just getting a report from the race direction saying that there's a car stranded on track. So yes, I think we do
There
have the
we
safety
go.
car.
Safety
This is
car
going
out
to
there.
bunch. It's going to bunch things up. And the last 13 minutes, it's going to be a lot of action.
Well, because you've got now guys like Arjun Maini, Rohan Shankar, Sai Sanjay, Abdul Fattah all sitting there in the mid pack, and all these guys are extremely quick. So we just all we have to do is sit and wait and watch because we are by the end of the time the safety car comes in, the entire field is going to be bunched up. Hopefully, Leaf Keshav gets a really good start and then leads them across the line and gets away clean. But behind him, there is going to be a bunch of guys who are absolutely in it to win it right now.
Yep, and hopefully the lap cars of today, we'll see them get waved by, which means they won't get stuck. They'll manage to come back around and join the crew as well.
Yeah, exactly. So if the lap cars get by, it's going to be an even Stevens track after this with everyone settling down in single file, hopefully. By the time we get to go racing again, like Aditya said, still got a couple of guys have penalty incident points as we can see on a slightly more detailed timing screen. So we're just trying to see what we can do with this. But the safety car will lead them around for 2 laps. So we just got to sit and wait until these guys get around for 2 laps. And then while the field bunches up, the lap cars will overtake, go back to the back of the field. But Lee Keshav right now in first place, followed by Sebastian Granette in second. Abdul Fattah making up a huge bunch of ground in third place. Avinash Gupta in fourth. Sai Sanjay in fifth. Rohan Shankar in sixth. Arjun Maini in seventh. And we know he can do a lot from there. Arman Ibrahim, I can't wait to see what he can do from eighth place because when he really wants to put his foot down and go, the man can actually is very quick. Harry Dalton, our English guest from the UK today, in ninth place, and Ritesh Rai running up the top 10 at the moment. But I think Avinash Gupta looks like after. I wonder what happened to him there out there because he could have actually won this race today after Amit Kutti's stint.
Yeah, he had a 4-second gap, but like I said, he's still got to get that little bit of experience. He does make mistakes every now and then. He lets the pressure get to him. But again, he's with Amit and he's with him for the next 2 weeks of racing as well. So I'm pretty sure we'll see Avinash come out as a much stronger, faster driver.
For sure, because of course you can learn a lot out of Amit Kuttiyan. And you guys have signed Amit Kuttiyan as well into his from an UltimateE racer or a sim racer into the real world. I wonder, Aditya, how is that going to work?
Well, basically at the end of the day, when you're driving in a sim or you're driving in a race car, if you do understand the basics with regard to braking techniques, with regard to racing line, the finesse of driving a race car, there are some basics that if you do know and you can follow it in the sim, you can actually translate it to an actual race car. So your coordinates are basically the same. The racetracks are the same. Cars are so real these days when you drive a sim. They feel so realistic. Of course, a lot of it is a bit exaggerated when you're going around, for example, when you touch the grass. It's a nightmare. It just throws you off. And I hate that about sim racing. But for the sim racers, they seem to be used to it. But we've seen some guys actually do really well when they get into a real race car, but we've also seen, that being said, some guys struggle. What's interesting with iRacing, though, we're seeing a lot of race drivers here, and they
Mhm.
seem to do very, very well when they get into iRacing. But when you put race drivers in, say, for example, a game like Gran Turismo on a PlayStation, they seem to really struggle. So obviously, the driving dynamics between these two games, they're very different. And it shows when you put race drivers in the two games. And when you put a driver from Gran Turismo, you bring him or her to iRacing, he seems to suffer as well.
Yeah, because I mean, the realism of the game, I'm guessing, or the expertise rather, across the different formats are very, very different. Because I'm guessing PC games, PlayStation games, they're all very different. It requires certain skill sets. But for a racing driver, I'm pretty sure they've all got this one common bond that they need, which is hand-eye coordination. I'm guessing by the hand-eye foot coordination by the end of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, uh, yeah, so if they can get that working, they can get into a race car. And, when I was a kid, I was not really good with my coordination. And
Yeah.
when my parents gave me a little bit of a little steering, a little gaming console, they really did help with my hand-eye coordination. I became a lot better at a lot of other sports as well. I could play tennis better. I could play cricket better. Um, my handwriting probably became better even. That's a bit exaggerated, but it does make a difference.
But there you heard it, ladies and gentlemen, because like Ante said, all you gotta do is get your parents to get you a little sim racing if you want to do better in school, or improve your handwriting, or just beat other kids in other sports. Because it looks like it worked for Aditya right now, with everything that he's accomplished in the safety car now coming back into this race. 13 minutes of racing to go. So Aditya, now we are gonna have a brilliant sprint because the lights have gone off on the safety car. He's gonna peel back into the pit lane as we go around the last little bits of this track, and once he comes in, with Lee Keshav in the lead, but people like Sebastian, Abdul Fatah, Avinash Gupta. I mean, all these names all the way down 10th place there. Any one of these guys can win the race today.
Yep, it's anybody's game right now. So it's going to be interesting because there's only 12 and a half minutes left to go. And we saw that the first 20 minutes itself, the 25 minutes, there was so much action. So these 12 and a half minutes, it's going to be a nail biter.
Absolutely, because I mean, if we're in for nail biters, this is what we're going to see. Because yesterday we finished with the safety car leading us across the line, but there we go. Lee Keshav now is going to bunch this back up. He's just going to sit and wait and wait and wait and bide his time, I think, until the safety car gets in the pit lane and then just punch that throttle and see what this car can do. Hopefully, in the adversities the grunt he's got, I think he has the advantage now going into this, going in the last 10 minutes.
He does, but it's his experience is what really matters right now, and it's Sebastian who, between the two of them, has a lot more experience. And then you've got Abdul, who's behind, who's very, very quick. And don't forget, Sai Sanjay, not far behind, waiting to pounce on this group.
Yep.
Followed by Rohan, followed by Arjun, folled by Atman. Oh, it's looking
It's looking like a treat at the moment because I mean all these guys itching to go. You can see, I mean, Lee Keshav looks like he's just hanging behind the safety car. He isn't really bunting these guys up too much, not doing too much, not paying too much attention to what's happening behind him, focusing absolute focus on what's ahead and that clear black tarmac ahead of him. Because if Lee Keshav can manage to hold these guys off, it is going to be brilliant because Advait is going to have the biggest smile on his face by the end of this, watching this going around. But right now, I'm pretty sure he's sitting there biting his nails, hoping that the guys behind him are just not able to catch him. Oh, who's that going off? Oh, it's a lap. I think it's just a lap car. Who's going around track? It's a brilliant view. We're riding on board now with Lee Keshav, where he's just watching the entire pack behind him, and there we go. He is now going to start bunching them up. He's gonna punching
When's he
them
going to
up.
go? And he's gone.
He's gone. He's gone. He's made the move. He basically brake checked him and then boom, he's gone. But Ronnie, that's given Sebastian and Abdul Fatah now. Again, you can watch them take two completely different lines into that corner one as they go through. But I think Ronnie has that line.
Sai's made a place as well.
Yeah, Sai has made up a couple of places as well up there. So it's changing very, very quickly as we go around because Abdul Fatah now has made up. I think Abdul Fatah has made up a place because he's come up in second place as well. Yeah, he has. And Lee Keshav's dropped a place again. So, Lee Keshav's still in first place at the moment. But Sebastian has dropped a bunch of places down there. Yeah. He's dropped a bunch of places. He's dropping down very quickly off down the order. Wonder what's happened there. Because he's really dropping fast. And Abdul Fatah on in second place. Sai now up in the third place. So back where he belongs on the podium like he did yesterday. With Avinash Gupta, Rohan Shankar, Arjun Maini, Arman Ibrahim, Harry Dalton, and Ritesh Rai now as it stands. But Avinash Gupta looks like he's dropped off for a whole bunch of places. Amit Kudi's not going to be happy there at all with him. Down in 13th place now, 11 seconds off this pack. It's madness at the moment with 9 minutes to go. And Lee Keshav seems to be holding off Abdul Fatah. But Abdul now, absolutely nothing in it between the top three. Still less than a second out there between these guys.
Yeah, so close, and it's Sai who's not even a second behind Sebastian. Oh, Sai in third place. Yeah, Sai in third place. Sebastian in fourth place. Sebastian's dropped to seventh. I missed that.
And I think Arjun Maini
that far behind. Arjun Maini is in fourth place.
He's up in the fourth. And Arman now up in the fifth place. So it looks like Arman and Arjun rather has brought Arman along with him. So there's been a little bit of carnage, it looks like, at the back, but I hope we don't get another safety car that drops, because this is 8 minutes of absolute racing now with Lee Keshav and Sebastian Gurnett battling. With Lee Keshav and Abdul Fatah right now.
Abdul Fatah, but Lee's left the door open. No, he's got the door.
It's just those two very different.
He's diving in.
He's going to dive bomb him around the inside. He's going to make the move. He does make it stick. And that's given Sai Sanjay now around and Lee Keshav. So Sai Sanjay is going to sense it. He's going to dive him again. He is. He's on the inside.
Clean move by Sai.
Sai, brilliant move. Brilliant driving between these three guys right now. But Lee Keshav now losing 2 places in 2 corners to Abdul Fatah and Sai Sanjay. Like yesterday, Abdul Fatah now in the lead of this race once again with 7 or 8 minutes to go of racing, Aditya.
Yeah, but he's got Sai Sanjay hot on his heels, and you know Sai can be really quick.
And look who's right behind Sai right now, because you got Arjun Maini who's joined this party with Arman Ibrahim behind him as well, but 2 seconds behind in the top 4 now. Yeah, less than a second between them. This is anybody's game at the moment.
It's a stonker, like you say, Anjan. It is turning out to be a really, really interesting race. And like they said, it's not over till it's over. Just when you thought things were settling down, a safety car came out, and now everything is all mixed up again. Arjun has made full use of it to bring himself up to 4th place. Ooh, Sai is really pulled in there in that chicane as well. Sai seems to find himself now in a good place for a slipstream.
Yeah, he has. I think Arjun Maini now going around the inside of Lee Keshav. He's going to make that move stick. No, he's still hanging back. Waiting to get that slipstream back up. There we go. You can see him taking that wide line, and
he's going for the speed.
Yep, he is going for that speed, that wider banking. And you can see how much he's closed up on Lee Keshav as well. On that, in that straight, but down that sharpness straight, you can see him flashing his lights. He knows he's quicker, but no, the battle between 1 and 2, 3 and 4. This is brilliant because Abdul Fatah just holding up Sai Sanjay, and Arjun Maini making
Arjun's made mistake. But Lee's brought it back in there.
Yeah, Arjun Maini just braked way too late and went way too deep in that corner. And Sai and Lee Keshav, looks like he's come back up in front now. Between these 4, these guys are battling in pairs at the moment because Abdul Fatah is trying to do everything to hold off Sai Sanjay. And behind them, Lee Keshav driving with his elbows the widest it can be, Aditya.
I'd love to go on board actually now with Sai Sanjay to see what the view is like. The lead right in front of him. There we go, we're on board with him, and he can see the lead, he can see the leader there, and he knows he can't make any mistakes right now if he wants to make this work. So this is going to be a great battle to the finish. Super view here actually, watching these onboards in these video games. See how detailed they are. Right through the gears, see how it flips up the fifth. If you notice, a lot of other things on the dial, they show 0. But that's only to the viewer, because it doesn't want the viewer to know the tricks of the trade that the drivers use. So the drivers can actually see those numbers, but we can't. They can't see what ABS is using.
He's so close on that chicane. You're taking up your technical stuff. He just almost sent it down the inside. But there we go. I think the gap behind, looks like Arjun Maini is still not being able to get past Lee Keshav. Wonder what's happening there. Because Lee Keshav, that's brilliant driving, because he's held him up for the last 2 minutes so far. Now we're down to the last 5 minutes of racing now, and it has never been this exciting at Daytona. And ultimately, he's all-star virtual lead. Now there we go. Sai Sanjay running up Abdul Fatah for another move. Tries very hard, tries to go around the outside and tries to switch back inside. This is really great.
Oh, it's
But it's
brilliant
Sai
racing
now.
indeed. Oh, he's going down the inside.
He's completely dive bombed him down the inside. So this is madness right now between these two guys. Oh my God, Sai Sanjay dropped an absolute dive bomb down the inside of Abdul Fatah now in second place. But Abdul Fatah is not going to sit back and watch. He is going to come back at these guys so hard at this point in time. This is something I'm looking forward to because Abdul Fatah we know was really quick yesterday. And today, I wonder what he's going to be able to do Aditya now with Sai Sanjay in the lead.
Yeah, his size not going to make it easy for him, but this track has those long straights, so all Abdul has to do is just wait behind Sai till they get on that long main straight with that big banking, and then get behind the slipstream and then try and make a move work, which is what Sai did. Oh, that's Lee, he's gone off.
Oh, that is Lee who's gone off, and happened? How did Lee go off?
I'm not sure what happened there.
There's just so many things happening around us now.
Arjun seems to be caught by Rohan, and now they're fighting for the podium spot. So maybe Lee and Arjun actually had some contact there, because now Rohan is right on Arjun's tail, and they have 2 laps to go. So it's a battle
this
for
is
the
getting
final podium
closer,
position
yeah.
here.
My God, this is getting closer and closer. Arjun Maini looks like he's come up in the 5th place right now. He gets to drop behind him. So Arjun looks like Arjun in 3rd place with 6 seconds now between these guys. But up in front now, Abdul Fatah throwing everything at him with 3 minutes to go. Sai Sanjay absolutely nothing, and you can't even throw a fingernail between these two guys as they're going around this track, because Abdul Fatah now in the slower corners, woohoo, you can see how much it closes up on Sai Sanjay. The Ferrari looks like it's a lot nimbler in the corners in this Merc, Aditya.
Yeah, the Ferrari is actually a bit nimble, and maybe they have a good setup. The setups are open, so the drivers can actually play with their car setup. And it looks like the Abdul brothers have a good setup. Looks like, of course, Sai does have a very good setup as well, but there's nothing to choose between these two. They're just so close, so evenly matched. And the same goes for Arjun Maini and Rohan Shankar, who are fighting for 3rd and 4th place.
3rd and 4th, yeah, because Arjun Maini, Rohan Shankar behind. This is great driving. I wonder what happened to Adman all the way down 11th place. Harry Dalton now in 9th, Ritesh Rai in 8th. Oshan went up a couple of places now in 6th place. And Lee Kesa now up in the 5th place. Down in the 5th place, unfortunately, with all those little mistakes he made. But up in front now, Sai Sanjay and Abdul Fatah, nothing in it. And for 3rd and 4th at the moment, with a 5-second gap between the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, Rohan Shankar and Arjun Maini are fighting nail and tooth. So there's 4 tenths between the top 2 and 2 tenths between the next between 2 and 3. So it's just getting closer and closer with 1.5 minutes of racing to go. This is the last one on the podium. We're watching Arjun Maini and Rohan Shankar now battling it out. Rohan seems to just drop back a little bit, but Arjun Maini now taking a completely different line. He's gone on that inside line out there. Last time he went on the outside for speed.
Outside.
And now he's done the inside line. So very different lines as he's going through the race. You just see a lap car now staying out of the way of the leaders. This is going to give him an advantage coming in that corner.
Really close.
That was unbelievably close between Sai Sanjay and Abdul Fatah. Abdul Fatah, he knows it's only about a lap that he's got, and he's going to throw.
He's taking him out.
He's taking him out.
They're taking each other out.
Gone off, but I wonder
on the last lap.
And this is going to give Arjun Maini and Rohan Shankar, have they gone through as well? Because it looks like Abdul Fatah now dropped down into 4th. He's dropped down to 4th place. Sai Sanjay now looks like he's in the lead. That was a big mistake. Abdul Fatah breaking a little too late, going in the back of Sai Sanjay, taking them both out and spinning it out, which means I think Sai Sanjay looks like he's recovered to keep that lead. But that gap now between Sai Sanjay, Arjun Maini, Rohan Shankar now less than a second, and Abdul Fatah for sure will have one of the stewards once this race is over. But Sai Sanjay, I don't know how he managed to keep that car up in 1st place after that mega spin, but Arjun Maini knows that there is a win on his hands. There is a win coming. There could be a win coming if he could just get a little closer. But Sai Sanjay not giving him anything left, not giving him anything at all, with 14 seconds now of racing left. All the way to the end, the last minute and the last lap again, we saw some absolute drama between Abdul Fatah and Sai Sanjay. The checker flag will drop now in a couple of laps. You see the white flag. Oh, is that Arjun?
Oh, that's Arjun.
That is Arjun Maini, who's gone up.
What happened
What
there?
happened there? He went straight in the wall. Man, oh man.
Oh
Do
my
you
god,
think the
it's
race?
all happening here.
I have a feeling Arjun Maini might have thought the race is over when he saw the checkered flag and not realized he slapped and went straight in the wall on his own. I wonder what happened there
Unless he's
because
made contact there, unless they had contact Rohan and Arjun there, which again then would put the game back in Fatah's hands for him to come in second place. But what happened there? That was
Because,
an
right?
unusual incident there. There we go.
Very
The race is
unusual.
over.
Oh,
We have the winning flight there.
Man, oh man, I
Sai
don't think Sai Sanjay. That was a very, very well driven race, taking the win here at Daytona Park at the UltimateE All-Star Virtual League. Ron Shankar in second place. Abdul Fatah for sure will have a meeting with the stewards after contact with Sai Sanjay. So I wonder if that's going to hand Arjun Maini a podium because he had a big mistake towards the end. Lee Keshav in fifth place. Oshan Kutadia sixth place. V Shah in seventh place. Ritesh Rai in eighth place. Harry Dalton in ninth place, and Ankush Ayush Sharma in 10th place. So Aditya, that last 2 minutes of racing, I don't think has been more exciting than we've watched this weekend.
Oh my god, I'm sweating here. That the last two laps, right from that incident, which all started with that incident between Abdul and Sai, and then everybody bunched up. Then I don't know what happened to Arjun on the last corner coming onto the straight. That's so unfortunate. I'd love to see a replay of that if we can.
Man,
But
I
oh my
think
god, what a race that was!
Absolutely, because Ron Shankar seems to be the biggest winner through all of this, and that's been brilliant. Because with all these guys racing up and down, it's been brilliant to watch these guys, and as they finish, it has been superb watching them in the second race. So we've still got another 2 weekends of this championship and series left. So of course, it's never over until the checkered flag drops, and we will know in 2 weekends' time who will be crowned champions. But Aditya, we're going to be following this now into the Indo Ceylon 3.0. This is some super exciting racing, and we're going to move on to the GT Sport, the PlayStation 4 platform, with the FMSCI, the CMSC, and the third round of an international series we run. So we can't wait to see you there at 9 p.m. Tonight, and from Aditya and I, if you could join us on our YouTube channels and Twitch streams on UltimateE. But from Aditya and I, it will be thank you, and we will see you in about 45 minutes from now for the Indo Ceylon 3.0.
Hello.
So we're off now, off air. What happened to Arjun? How did he go into the wall like that?
He
He hit the grass on the inside,
Wow.
and on full throttle, that's the wall.
we also got stuck in the barricade.
Yeah, we got